I think this is the only media platform that I have actually come out saying that I've done this movie. Many people still don't know that fact.
Sikkil Gurucharan is one of the foremost Carnatic classical musicians today who has also acted and sung in the movie Sarvam Thala Mayam. He told us what he likes about Indian Raga's videos and approach, and what goes into a good collaboration. Sikkil, great to be chatting with you. Congratulations on the movie. We're excited to see your acting chops
I'm excited.
in this avatar. And it's so interesting when I was learning more about you that I discovered that at the age of 5, you basically were caught humming a film song, and that's how your talent was discovered in the vocal side of things.
Yeah, I think for any kid to be triggered into learning an art form, they just need to find the right motivators. It can be their parents or grandparents or the proper guru. In my case, it was my grandmother's first, who initially, when they wanted me to sing something and show them, and I just I forgot which film song, but I'm sure it's a Tamil film song from the 1980s, a very famous Ilayaraja number. Right? And they immediately recognized that this boy has a good voice and he naturally grasps onto the Shruti. So let us not try to force him into the family instrument, which is the flute, and let us encourage him to be his natural self, that's a singer. So
that's great, and it's always been nice to see you do collaborations and explore new ground in Carnatic music and beyond. And we'd love to hear about because we try and kind of inspire our artists at IndianRaga to pursue the art of collaboration in a meaningful fashion.
Definitely, yeah. I came to know of IndianRaga many years back because of some of the hosts that I went to stay with in the US during my concert tours. Their children, the videos that they showed, because it was a common story and it was a common happening, kept on recurring, that there always would be a child whom I knew because of my visit in the US, and 2 years later, she gets into the IndianRaga Fellow, and I get to see her video, his or her video, and it's remarkable to see the way they have developed as a student and as a performer. So yes, I've been following a lot of IndianRaga videos, and I think collaborations, at the end of the day, whether you want to collaborate or not, it's a very subjective decision. Nobody can be forced to collaborate and nobody can be forced to stay traditional. So the first parameter that I want to follow is the basic style of singing doesn't have to change. It should not change. So I might have one specific forte, or my strength might lie in one particular area of singing, and just for the sake of collaboration, I should not forsake it. And the second one, the emotion of the song should not change, and the composer's meaning behind that song, it should not change. And finally, I think the audience, they should not be misled into thinking that whatever you're doing is Carnatic music. So you need to label them properly. Sometimes a label is even not necessary. So if you're unsure of what the collaboration is bringing out, better not to call it anything. Not to call it Hindustani, no need to call it Carnatic, and just call it as contemporary classical music. So those parameters thankfully have been kept under check for me so far, and I think if the young students or the young performers want to do collaborative ventures, if these parameters make sense to them, I think they are well on the way to glory. To do it, yeah. Any favorite IndianRaga videos you'd like to mention? I really liked this particular video wherein the Sindhu Bhairavi Thillana by the late legend Lalgudi Jayaraman sir was featured. I think Kriti Bhatt had sung it, and my good friend Akshayanatha Padmanabhan played mridangam, and there were other youngsters as well. Because I was just learning that Thillana for one particular concert, and I wanted to see how that Thillana was being presented by young performers. And this was the first video that cropped up during my YouTube search. And what struck me, apart from the wonderful rendition by the artists, was the way Carnatic music was showcased in that 5-6 minutes. it's very easy for any non-Carnatic music person, anyone who is deeply rooted in other forms of music, be it pop or reggae or whatever, admit it or not, the first attraction for such people is the visual element. How do you bring them into that video? So I think IndianRaga, that particular video, and I'm sure all the other videos that you do, they capture that beautifully, and they just kind of pull in the viewer first, and then they make the viewer the listener, and then you present that video really well, and the music is very chaste, it's very authentic, and the lights are beautiful, the sound is beautiful, even the minutest of detail is heard. So yeah, that's my favorite.
So through the narration of the cinema and just the journey of the protagonist, did you have any thoughts while you were filming or while you were watching it about the pursuing of this passion today, especially for very difficult art forms like Carnatic music, which there's a lot of people who do give up for various reasons. How can they be inspired or incentivized to stick on? And in this age of like getting everything very quickly, easily, wanting to do performances quickly and all of that, it's so difficult to sustain a passion for that long. So any thoughts that you have on how that could be made easier?
One thing I love about this movie is that it shows that passion can get you anywhere. And Peter's character is so passionate, and that passion is not something that he was born with. He just attains that passion, that love for Indian classical drum, that's a mridangam, much late in his life. And from there, the hurdles that he faces while learning the art form and then getting on to a performance level. So that is something that we all undergo as performers. So we struggle to find the right guru, and then we struggle to find the right venues to perform. I think the young musicians now, they have it easy in a way that Carnatic music is way more popular than what it was 20 years back. And thanks to initiative like IndianRaga and other widely spread media avenues that Carnatic music has today. So these young performers, they have a lot to look forward to. At the same time, they need to choose the right avenues, and they need to showcase the right kind of music to the audience. And that's where the challenge lies today. And hopefully this movie will give them some clarity.
Yeah. So are we going to be seeing you in many more films acting?
I doubt it. This movie, the main reason I did this movie was because Rajiv sir asked me if I would be comfortable playing a musician. And when I read the dialogue, it was very natural, and it was not that I had to get into a role, I had to get into this actor's shoes, this character's shoes, nothing like that. So I had great fun shooting this movie, and it's like my humble way of making Carnatic music a little more widespread, taking it beyond the already existing circle of Carnatic music connoisseurs and lovers. And if that happens, why not? Yeah.
Right. So during the process of making a film like this, where we spoke previously about it addresses so many different things that are relevant in the Carnatic music space today, is there a specific insight or idea that kind of struck you during that process that you probably didn't know otherwise? Like, did it help you see Carnatic music from a director or a cinematographer's perspective versus being part of it till that point of time?
Honestly, the very question whether or not a mridangam maker's son can make it to the top rung as a musician.
உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் இந்த கவர்மெண்ட் மியூசிக் காலேஜில் கோட்டா இருக்குமே.
நீ ஜான்சன் பையன். ரோட்ல என்ன வேணாலும் பண்ணலாம். ஆனா இது ஒரு கோவில்.
நீ என்ன நினைச்சிட்டு இதெல்லாம் பண்ற? இது ஏன் வாத்தியம் நான் வாசிக்கிறதுக்காக செஞ்சது.
கர்நாடக சங்கீதம்.
ஆமா.
Till now, I don't think that has become a reality, but I hope if many people start thinking on those lines in every art form, there is a lot of good change that is possible. And I think this movie kind of, it presents classical music in a very unadulterated form, because the concerts that I have sung in this movie were all shot as concerts. I even remember one of the Rasikas who was supposed to attend the concert, because Rajiv sir had a very different marketing strategy. He mentioned that Sikkil Gurucharan, accompanied by Sriram sir on the mridangam, in one of the papers, and then he went on to advertise the same concert as my character's name, Veda Raman. Veda Raman vocal and Umayalpuram Padma Vibhushan Umayalpuram Sivaraman mridangam. And this Rasika calls me and says, looks like you're not performing. It looks like somebody called Veda Raman is singing. And so that was the kind of buzz that he generated around the concert, and people had come to watch a live concert, and they had no idea that this concert was being shot. GV Prakash was somewhere in the audience, right behind Umayalpuram Sivaraman sir, watching him play. So it was a very organic way of shooting a concert, and that was how Carnatic music was being presented in this movie. So the purest way of the purest form of Carnatic music is going to reach the masses. Right. So I'm very happy about it.
What are your students going to think of the teacher when they see you on screen? Are they going to be excited? Are they going to point out flaws in your acting? What are they going to do, you think? I think
this is the only media platform that I have actually come out saying that I've done this movie. Many people still don't know that fact. It's a very small role, but I think it's just an extension of what I do on stage. So, and my father is actually a very famous stage actor in Tamil theatre. So people who know me well, they might just say that this is probably in his genes.
That's great. We're all looking forward to the movie, and we also greatly admire the fact that your thoughts are very forward-looking while keeping the core of and the essence of the tradition intact, and we look forward to many more wonderful collaborations on your end, and hopefully many more movies too. Thank you so much.